everybody, it's the Warhipster here, coming at you with another Contrast Plus painting tutorial from Middle-earth. Yes, we are back once more, at long last, with some Rohirrim. Yes, we have the all-new Warriors of Rohan Commanders kit here, and a massive thank you goes out to Games Workshop for sending me these guys early to build up a paint with all of you, and I am so excited because Rohan are my favourite. Painting Rohan is one of my favourite things to do, and I cannot wait to jump in and paint these glorious new plastic commanders for my Rohirrim. So we're going to jump in and do exactly that, starting now. So colour we're going to be using first is Wyldwood, and we're going to be applying this over the top of their sort of soft brown sort of inner clothes, which is this sort of roby type stuff. We're going to apply this over top of all of the wood, and we're going to apply this over top of things like their leather belts and stuff like that as well. It's quite a lot of brown to these guys. With that Wyldwood all applied, we're then going to take some Cygor Brown, and we're going to apply this over the top of any armour that is leather armour. In fact, we should probably be looking at one of these for this. Yes, that makes more sense. So we're applying this over the top of the armour that remains. So with both of our browns applied, what we're now going to do is take some Blood Angels Red, and we're going to apply this to the undershirts. And with our Blood Angels Red all applied, we are then going to take some Black Legion, and we're going to apply this over the top of the boots. And with that Black Legion all applied, what we're then going to do is we're going to take a roughly 2 parts Dark Angels Green to 1 part Lahmian Medium mix. And we're going to apply this over the top of the cloak and over the top of the fields of the shield. So with that layer of Dark Angels Green and Lahmian Medium applied, we're then going to take the exact same mix again, only we're only going to apply it over the top of their cloaks. So this is 2 parts Dark Angels Green to 1 part Lahmian Medium. So now that that green is all done, we've actually got some more sort of greeny bits to do. So actually the next colour that we're going to be using is Terradon Turquoise. And we're going to apply this over the top of just our captain's cummerbund slash whatever this is. Sash? And for our banner, what we're going to do is we're going to take some Mantis Warriors Green, and we're going to apply this over the top of the field of the banner. And with those bits now done, what we're going to do is take some skeleton horde. And we're going to apply this over the top of the hair and beards. And with that skeleton horde applied, we then take a little bit of some Fyreslayer Flesh. And we're going to apply this over top of their faces and hands. So with that all done, it's now time to add some metallics. And the simplest thing to do, really, is the silver. The easiest way to put this is we're going to be using some thinned down iron warriors. And we're applying this over top of all of this scale mail for our captain in his heavy armour, just there. We're also going to be applying this over top of any blades, like this sort of thing. Now, there are a bunch of belt buckles and stuff scattered around. We're not actually going to apply this iron warriors to those now, because they're quite bright. And so, if we apply this now, it just makes it more of a hassle, because we have to then sort of be really careful with the application of the iron warriors. And we don't want to do that, so we're skipping all of those sorts of things. However, on some of the helmets and things, we're also going to be applying this over the top of the trim. So really it's kind of a determination for yourself to make, because you could give them, because they're command options, all gold trim on their helmets. Or you can go for that slightly more ragtag look that the Rohan generally tend to have, which is sort of a bit of a mixture. So in the instance of this individual, the captain, we're going to be applying this over the top of all of the helmet trim, excluding the bit around the horse on his head. And so with that all done, we then take some thinned down Retributor Armour. We're going to apply this over top of all of the remaining details, excluding this sort of detail that's here on the shield, apart from the sort of big rondel right there in the middle. And we're going to be doing that later, and the same goes for the sort of the main part of the horn for our horn blower, and for the horse logo, for lack of a better word, on the banner. Again, I'm going to deal with that a little bit later on. So with that all done, it's time to add some shades. And the first of these is going to be some Reikland Fleshshade. And we're going to apply this over top of all the brown and all the gold. And with that Reikland Fleshshade all applied, we then take some Nuln Oil and we apply this over top of all the silver. And in this individual's case, we also apply this over top of the Terradon Turquoise. And we are also applying that Nuln Oil over the top of the horse on the banner. With that Nuln Oil all applied, we are then going to take some Biel-Tan Green and we're going to apply this just over top of the field of the shields. And at this point I should just say, don't worry too much about getting this on the sort of the fancy bits, like these horses and things. We're going to be relayering all of that. Very soon. And another point of clean up is we didn't actually apply Reikland Fleshshade over the top of any of the wood. That's important to note. We just applied it when I said all over the brown. I meant to say brown clothes. Again, as you can see here, I've been a little bit more messy on this shield. Slightly more tricky to navigate this one. So with our shades all applied, our Rohan commanders are now what I would call a Warhipster battle ready. However, we're not going to leave them there. No, we're going to take them to the next level. We're going to do this by adding some layers and some highlights. Now, the first of these is going to be a layer and technically a highlight at the same time. It's going to be some thinned down Corax White. We're going to use this to relayer the pennant, well, the horse on the banner. Basically relayering all of it, just avoiding where the shades have really settled. But we're also going to be using this to relayer the designs on the shields. So with that Corax White all applied, we're now going to take some Seraphim Sepia, and we're going to apply this over the top of the horn here, and we're going to apply this over the top of the designs on the shields. So with that all done, it's now time to get into some highlights. So the first of these is going to be some thinned down Karak Stone. And we're going to use this to highlight all of the wood. With all that Karak Stone applied, we're then going to take some thinned down Steel Legion Drab. I'm going to use this to highlight the rest of the Wyldwood leather and clothing. With that all done, we then take some thinned down Gorthor Brown, and we use this to highlight the Cygor Brown armour. Next up, we're going to take a small amount of some thinned down Wild Rider Red. I'm going to use this to highlight the red. With the red all highlighted, our next protocol is to take a tiny amount of Black Legion, and we're going to apply this over top of their eyeballs. And with that Black Legion applied, we're then going to take some Screaming Skull, and whilst you can use this to add some little dots of Screaming Skull in the corners of the eyes to try and make the eyes look a bit more eye-like, I'm probably not going to do this over the top of the commander with the vision slits here and on the banner. Instead, I'm just going to be using this Screaming Skull to highlight the hair and beard. And so with that all done, we're then going to take some thinned down Warboss Green. We're going to use this to highlight the green. And with that all done, it's now time to conquer these metallics, and we're going to start with some thinned down Ironbreaker and use this to highlight the silver. And so with that Ironbreaker all applied, we are now going to finish off our Rohan commanders by taking some thinned down Liberator Gold. I'm going to use this to highlight all the gold. And there we have it, with our bases now all complete in the same style as the rest of our Rohirrim miniatures. Our Rohan commanders are now finished, and my, what a glow up they have had. These are just so much better than the original metal ones, well, whichever version of the metal ones we've had, that I'm seriously considering doing a conversion of the banner. I know, something I don't normally do, but I really want a banner on horse now. If you enjoyed this video, you love the channel, and you'd like to support me further, you absolutely can do so by heading to patreon.com/warhipster, just like all of these wonderful, amazing people have done. And alternatively, you could become a YouTube channel member by clicking on the join button below, exactly like these fabulous folks have done, scrolling up on the screen before you. There are so many of you out there that it really takes my breath away, and I cannot thank you enough for everything you do, as without you I wouldn't be able to keep making these Contrast Plus videos. And if you really like this video and you want to send me a little thanks, just click on the thanks button just below this video. Don't forget to share it, like it, comment on it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and to make sure you stay up to date, don't forget to click the bell icon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon in the next one. Happy wargaming.